Don't follow trends, follow your heart.
Welcome to this week's astrology report. I am astrologer Maria Hjelmborg. I'm standing here in Tokyo, close to Shibuya. The reason why I chose here as we enter the month of Capricorn, the report is from the 23rd until the 30th of December 2019, is because just like this massive heavy building, the culture of Japan is very patriarchal. It's very patriarchal. It's very the old stuff that we're cleaning out in Capricorn. So that's why I'm here in Tokyo yet another time. Welcome to the report. We start out with, as usual, an overview, short overview, a collective report with all 7 days of the week. Then we go into 2 minutes for the nerds, and then all 12 signs one by one. So let's do this. So this is a program for the week. Remember to follow the link at the end of the song when you see the number that it says on the screen right now, the minute. Then you will be able to hear the Christmas song of the week written back in Isla de la Palma by me and my former musical partner, Nikolai. Merry Christmas! Hey! And a happy new moon. Instead of a happy new year, there's a new moon Thursday. So just before I start, remember for the English and the Spanish ones, I am talking European time, plus minus an hour. So I'm talking from Europe. So that will, I mean, in the Americas, both Americas, you have to minus 6 to 9 hours, depending on whether you're on the east or west coast. Plus 7 for Japan. Well. So now the sun is really in Capricorn, so we are now entering the 10th out of 12 halftime match. And I could have chosen to stand in front of a traditional Christmas tree, but with less traditional aspects on Christmas Eve, it's very appropriate that I am untraditionally here in Japan once again. As mentioned, in front of the building, it's about that I'm choosing to do it out here because Capricorn is also the patriarchal sign where the state, the emperor, the traditions and the rules are controlling above the feelings. Is in charge of the show. And if you have experienced Japanese culture just once for a longer period than just a short holiday, you'll discover that out here this Capricorn aspect is really potent. 2 good examples. 1, I'm ordering a burger at a place where a man is in his own store and have to make a burger. I'm ordering the burger as it is, but I'm asking him when he gets to the beef that he will avoid putting in the meat. And it's not doable, he says. And I'm like, why not? I will pay full price for it, I say. He points with a finger, and his reply upon a picture of the burger with a description of the content and says, because it's in the menu card. Only him and I was in the store, so no one would have noticed that he wouldn't put the beef in my burger, but he would have spared the meat and the movement with his arm to do it. But here, nothing in Japan is doable if it isn't written down on paper as a rule. Just like I couldn't sew, where I once was renting a place because it wasn't in the renting contract, or in the contract that you could sew with your sewing machine in your own home. If this happened in Denmark, where we often take our work computer back home with us, well, many people wouldn't make it on their work because it's normal and usual here. So in other words, we are in the sign where you follow the rules, and that in a discipline, patient, workative mode, without caring too much about your feelings. Which can be suppressed if it should have any sort of negative influence on your work or your ambitions or renommee. Well, we do have the North Node, and a lot of North Nodes actually over the planets like Pluto and Jupiter, the Moon in Cancer, so there's still room for the feelings. These are actually what we need to learn how to prioritize. In spite of the load of work pressure there is, to listen to the inner voice. So let's start out with Monday the 23rd. If this happened in Denmark, where we often take our work computer back home with us, well, many people wouldn't make it on their work because it's normal and usual here. So in other words, we are in the sign where you follow the rules and that inner discipline, patient, workative mode, without caring too much about your feelings. That can be, which can be suppressed if it should have any sort of negative influence on your work or your ambitions or renommee. Well, we do have the North Node, and a lot of North Nodes actually of other planets like Pluto and Jupiter, the Moon in Cancer, so there's still room for the feelings. These are actually what we need to learn how to prioritize. In spite of the load of work pressure there is, to listen to the inner voice. So let's start out with Monday the 23rd. The day before Christmas Eve. As I mentioned for the Sunday and last report, you're gonna feel a combination of more than one thing this day. A raw power within you, with no comparison, that's also going to run through this day. A lot of power and will to succeed, whatever it was that suddenly, or not only succeed, but also to make it through whatever it was that suddenly entered the stage of your life that you now have to take into consideration in your relationships. You're actually in the traditional Christmas mood anyways, even though there's a challenge of some kind or something sudden and unexpected came up, and you are able to well, through your practical modality, get a hell of a lot done during these days. Tuesday the 24th, Merry Christmas, in a little bit of an untraditional Christmas Eve. Expect the unexpected. Maybe you're gonna do something different traditional wise than you usually do. Is anything special happening this evening? Maybe someone is pulling out an unexpected rabbit out of the hat. But people are positive and in a super good mood, and there's a belief in that everything is good, even though it's gonna be untraditional. We are thinking more about other people than ourselves, more altruistically, where we don't consider, how much did I get materially in comparison to other people, and the party of the hearts, the fest of the hearts, has started, and you're opening the doors on like wide open for people. Everyone is welcome. It's about the being in good company and with friends and the community before everything else, so to speak. Well, maybe you're gonna go out into nature and walk around where after the food has been eaten, if you are able to do that, or maybe you'll do that tomorrow instead. Or you could also just dance. Wednesday the 25th. During all of this day, the spirit is also super positive, and you would like to go out under the open sky where you have room around you. You're also a little tired and a little introverted at the same time, and we can feel that there's been a week with full speed on. Thursday the 26th. There's a new moon in Capricorn, so things are in good order. At the same time, we are feeling that light, happy spirit we had on Christmas Eve. Feels nice to be together and also to be on our own. At the same time, you're not only thinking about yourself, and there's room for the unpredictable. Sudden ideas or changes are on the list of to-dos today. Friday the 27th. We are finding a really good overview of things today, and we are optimistic around it too, as much as we can get, when we also have to be realistic when we think about or consider the surroundings. Maybe we have a very concrete life project that feels like a very important thing in our life, like a life purpose that we want to throw ourselves into, but we have to clear out and clean up certain things inside us, outside, before we can do that. Some kind of a change of status might be on its way in some way. All that I've been talking about the last couple of days can really have something to do with commitment, to commit to something or someone. Saturday the 28th. The need for freedom grows. On top of all the plans and doings that's been around committing, and you're thinking a lot of thoughts, plans for the future, etc., and have a less anchor in things. The earth connection is less these days, so these thoughts are more floating around in the air as usual, and can create a little bit of pressure. Sunday the 29th, our thoughts are going from being visionary, philosophic and broad-minded to becoming more realistic and more oriented around the practical situations that are right in front of us. It's going to be able to be easier to concentrate your thoughts and think in more expert and professional terms than usually. So more earth-connected, less in the air. The planetary positions of the week. We have a hell of a lot in Capricorn, as you see. Mercury is entering, the Sun, Jupiter, Ketu, Saturn, Pluto is there, and the Moon is coming. We then have Mars in Scorpio, as you saw. I'm moving a little fast here. And then, of course, Rahu down there in Cancer. And as usual, we have Uranus in Taurus, and the usual planets over there. The Moon starts in Scorpio, moves through Sagittarius, and goes to the conjunction with the Sun as the new Moon starts in Capricorn and ends in. The planetary positions of the week. We have a hell of a lot in Capricorn, as you see. Mercury is entering, the Sun, Jupiter, Ketu, Saturn, Pluto is there, and the Moon is coming. We then have Mars in Scorpio, as you saw. I'm moving a little fast here. And then, of course, Rahu down there in Cancer. And as usual, we have Uranus in Taurus, and the usual planets over there. The Moon starts in Scorpio, moves through Sagittarius, and goes to the conjunction with the Sun as the new Moon starts in Capricorn and ends in. All 12 signs for this week, and if there's a breathing dog, it's because a sound of a breathing dog is because there's a sound of a breathing. There is a breathing dog next to me. Aries. So Aries, as one of the last weeks of the year, well, the last whole week of the year, we are ending with Mars in Scorpio, where it's also at home, our ruler. So we feel like, in spite of any kind of pressure or focus upon our career and stuff like that, we actually feel like we have some kind of power. We feel like we can handle things. We feel that we know what we want and where we're going, and that's pretty awesome. Taurus. You're now in that sign where you're focused a lot upon your career, and your ruler is in the sign where the focus upon the career. So it's less about the feelings and more have more of a distance maybe in your relationships, and more focused upon how to move forward career-wise. Gemini, so your ruler is actually, during this week, changing signs from the very visionary part of your life, where it's all about the relationship and how you're in contact with other people, to more concrete, earthy way of thinking. So you've been very broad-minded and philosophical, etc., and now you're moving into a time or a period where you're going to be more earth-connected, and you're more focused in your thoughts, you're more able to be ambitious and precise in the way you're thinking and communicating with others. Cancer. So this week, Cancer, we are starting with like a very lively but also very practical mode, where you really have to get some stuff done, but also you are having a lot of energy, and then also you are communicating about broad broad-minded, broad visions, etc. For the first part of the week. Then we move into a part of the week where it's all about other people, and you have to consider things in your relationships, and you might be having to be more grounded in certain manners. At the end of the week, you're feeling how you're getting more into contact with the thoughts about your future. Leo, so it's all about the traditions, and you are all about Christmas and getting a lot of things done around Christmas, and feeling also how you're getting to be very optimistic during this week. You're really feeling how you can make plans about how you want also your health situation to be, and things like that for the future. But also your everyday life is in consideration, how to maybe change something, which is actually something that you'll be doing for the rest of this year, having a positive, transformative focus upon that part of your life. Virgo, for you guys, you have been in a mode where you have been very, let's say, focused upon your family, and you doing stuff with your family, or your family have been traveling, you've been moving around a lot, and now you're maybe just all about children, or your children, or just you're having to take care of other people's children, or creative projects in general, or you're starting something up for yourself, like a creative business or something. And now we go into the sign of Libra. So Libra, this week you are very much about the romantic situations of your life. Maybe you're in love with life in another way. You're ready to follow your heart and just be dressed in flowers, or if you're a man, in colorful things, and just enjoy life with a particular someone romantically, or your children is in focus and play, your dog, or your I have my dog trying to play with me here. Scorpio, well, for this week also, Mars is in our sign because it's my rising sign. So for the Scorpios, well, we still have the power. You know what you want, you're going for it, and it's nice to go into the new year with this feeling of no more doubting which direction you want to go, what you're aiming for, what you came here to do, who you are, etc. Sagittarius, well, we talked about it. It's a new situation, it's a new year for you. Now you're really getting a good grip upon who is it that's going to show up in your life. How do they look like? The people that are going to reflect this new perspective you've gotten on life. How do they feel for you? How does it feel for you to be in this new zone? It's optimistic, but it's also, you really have to be very realistic about things. How can they manifest? And try not to be insecure, because it's all about your self-worth also. It can be triggered by someone this week where you feel a little burned. But if you can collaborate with this person, you can get very far. Capricorn. Oh my God, happy birthday, Capricorn. 6 planets in your sign 2 times this week, and ending with 6 planets. Not only planets, also luminaries and nodal nodes. Ketu in this case. And wow, that's wild. Like, so much is going on for you guys in your life. You're just being forced to transform in certain ways. You're being forced to broaden your mind. You're being forced to let go of old stuff in your life, and yeah, stuff like that. Aquarius. So Aquarius, another week where you are feeling like, God, you have to release stuff, you have to let go of stuff. At the same time, a lot is going on in your work situation, which can really be improving, but you feel like you're still cleaning out your closet and many levels. Pisces. Okay, Pisces, it's connecting time. You're really like networking and trying to find your way to look into a brighter future and how you want the world to look. And you have maybe had to let go of a friend or a certain relationship or something where you're like, this no longer works for me, this no longer serves me. I have to move forward in a new way, in a new direction that's more appropriate and serving for me if I want to be happy. And you're looking into the future, and you're making the right connections to create this future. Don't follow trends, follow your heart.